like a boss.
So I gotta give a warning about not giving a fuck. First of all, studies have been shown that when a woman notices that an attractive man is making eye contact with them, their brain releases dopamine. But they've noticed that when an unattractive man is looking at them, their brain releases the stress hormone cortisol. Do you want to know the only time when an unattractive man releases dopamine in a woman? Studies have shown that the only time an unattractive man that a woman sees unattractive, the only time he releases dopamine is when the motherfucker looks away. All right. So we got to understand is that this only applies when she's actually kind of attracted to you. Right. Because when the attractive guy didn't look at the woman or looked away, stress hormone is released in the woman. Right. So this is what we're talking about. When a woman is into you, which every man, no matter how ugly you are, somebody's going to like you one day. This is the video for you. Now, I don't recommend people to just not give a fuck for the sake of not giving a fuck. All right. Because whenever I talk about not giving a fuck, what I'm naturally referring to is just having low intention, high attachment. That's pretty much the whole point of not giving a fuck, is developing that mentality where you have high intention, you want to be with this person, right? But also you have low attachment, which is, it's almost like a friend telling you, let's go to a party, and you're excited, and you're in your mind, you're saying, oh, okay, the concept of a party is good. And you're saying to yourself, I cannot wait to go to the party. But then your friend says, actually, there's not going to be a party. And then all of a sudden you feel a letdown, but it doesn't last for too long. Or better yet, you're on your way to a certain country and you're excited, but then they tell you the flight is canceled and you're disappointed, but you're able to move on. That's what I'm talking about. High intention, high attachment is you have high intention, you get disappointed, and you're not able to move on. All right. So that's to me what it means to not give a fuck. All right. But it also means to just show some coldness from time to time, and how this affects a person's mind, particularly how it affects a man's mind. All right. So we're going to talk about it in 3 different levels: how it affects the brain, but also we're going to talk about what different parts of their lives creates that type of trigger, right? So we're going to talk about how somebody's childhood affects the way they react to somebody not caring that much, how their past relationships, how their expectations, how all of those things create trigger points that by you displaying that you don't care creates that type of reaction where they pretty much lose complete control over how they behave. Look, naturally, the brain, when it gets romantically rejected, it stimulates a certain part of the person's brain when they get romantically rejected, and that part of the brain that gets hurt is associated with motivation, aggression, reward, addictions, cravings, which is pretty much your amygdala, which is your reptilian brain, right? And whenever that part of the brain gets activated, or it receives a signal from its environment that says it's in pain, that says it's your survival is at risk, which essentially means somebody rejected you, that also means your survival is at risk, evolutionarily speaking, it pretty much short circuits your frontal cortex. Because what happens is this: you receive, for example, let's just say you see a lion, right? A lion, you turn around and a lion is literally about to bite your fucking head off, right? There's a moment when you see it, you know what's going on, but you can't process what's going on. You know what's going on because your brain literally says, without words, it says this is a dangerous situation. And it fills your body up with fear, right? And you have no time to process it. The reason why you have no time to process it is because, one, the signal goes from the thalamus, which is where the part of the brain I believe that receives sensory information, to the amygdala. There's literally a quote unquote wire that goes directly to the amygdala. And after that signal is sent, then it reaches the frontal cortex, which is pretty much the part of the brain that analyzes and says, oh my God, that was crazy, right? But you don't have time for it. But what happens is that the amygdala pretty much floods your whole brain with fear. And that part of the brain that allows you to process things verbally in your mind pretty much gets short-circuited. So a person whose amygdala is activated loses control. They have no control. They start acting in ways that are irrational because that part of the brain, their rational self, is so flooded with emotion that it cannot think straight. Right, so emotional responses first come from the amygdala, and then our rational thoughts take over. But if the emotional response is very intense, this person does not have time to actually think, or better yet, this person will not be thinking before they act. And so this person will do a lot of needy things. This person will chase even though you don't give a fuck. And you want to know why? Because I'm gonna explain to you different reasons why this person cannot think straight at you not giving a fuck about them for the most part. But sometimes those signals from the amygdala are so intense that they completely possess your behavior. It's like when they call it crimes of passions, right? Crimes of passions are pretty much crimes when you just aggression takes over so much that you do something you normally wouldn't do. Or when people say they blacked out of anger, they blacked out because they got so angry. It's because the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that produces aggression, is so fucking insane and it has so much power over you that your rational mind cannot even control it. And that's the epitome of a human that transcends its humanity. It's somebody who's able to control their emotions. So the amygdala's extensive web of neural connections allows it, during an emotional emergency like a lion about to bite your head off, to capture and drive much of the rest of the brain, including the rational mind, right? And so that's why when you activate that feeling of neediness, the feeling of you getting rejected, the feeling of maybe this person doesn't like me as much, they start acting out of character. So what are the things that trigger these types of behavior? One, childhood, right? Being romantically rejected can be a familiar feeling that mirrors one's childhood, leading that person to seek out more of the same. Feelings and emotions that are intense for some reason are memories of the past. For example, don't you notice that for some reason when somebody rejects you, you have this weird need to get their validation? And some people might ask themselves, why is it that I feel this need to get validated even though I know it's not correct? I didn't have a bad childhood. I don't remember nothing bad. But what you do remember is the emotional experience. You see, the part of the brain that stores memories where you can consciously remember them is not the same part of the brain that was mostly fully activated as a child when you were perceiving the world and you weren't able to formulate thought. The way that you still remember things from when you were a baby or even a toddler, you remember it, but not the way you remember thoughts today. You remember them as a form of an emotion, almost like a fossil, an emotional imprint that you consistently feel this discontent. You consistently feel this weird depression that comes over you, and you ask yourself, what's the source of this? What you really are doing is having another form of remembering. It's an emotional imprint that you remember through feeling, because as a child, you really didn't experience the world through words. You experienced the world through images and emotions, right? And so you remember your past, your neglect, you not receiving love, not through a conscious remembrance, but through a pre-verbal way, feeling it. You feel. And so when somebody rejects you, it reminds you of the moment when your needs weren't met as a child, through the intense feeling. And those intense feelings come from your amygdala. That's where it comes from. And that's why you just lose control. You start acting out of character. You start acting super needy. Right? Because the amygdala is our first way of creating memories as a child. And through smelling and through images, right? And so it remembers through feelings. The cortex wasn't developed to create concrete memories. All right, guys. So I want you guys to check out my online course called Dark Game. That's right, people. Dark Game. And this course is pretty much, I review to you the secret tactics, the secret techniques to create attraction in almost any woman, right? But not just attraction to the point that makes her want to see you all the time, where she's the one initiating all the contact, right? Now just imagine to be able to keep all of the girls in your life that you lost because of your stupidity. Imagine, and I had stupidity too. Imagine being able to keep them. Imagine being able to have 5, 6 women available to you, wanting to see you. Imagine being able to create intense relationships where they're all doing all the work. People, that kind of stuff does exist, people. Now, I'm not gonna promise you that you're gonna bang like 40, 50 women. I'm gonna promise you that you're gonna be able to keep the women you have, that you get with. I can promise you that keeping them will increase with this course. But let me keep showing you something. This course is pretty huge, people. It's a huge course. This course has over 50 videos. 50 videos, right? And some of them you could get for free. If you just sign up, you get free videos, right? But in these videos, let me show you guys the course, right?
All right,
Oh
guys.
shit. That's me right there, right? In this video, I pretty much teach you guys how to find your purpose. Right? All this is how to find your purpose, discovering your purpose, right? I teach you guys then about female psychology, all of the principles about female psychology you guys need to understand. I then teach you guys the mindset, the proper mindset that you guys need to deal with women. After that, I teach you guys 21 videos on how to game. I mean, it's pretty much unbelievable, man. I gotta make this available, right? But it's unbelievable how many I pretty much put everything: outer game, social circuit game, strategies, threesomes, foursomes, everything, right? And on top of that, I give you guys a few bonuses: how to overcome approach anxiety, why you can't take actions, a Dickens pattern to change your mentality, how to go from open to transitions, right? 81-minute long, people. This is like, I don't know how long this is, but this is hours, and I mean hours worth of content. And you get a 30-day money back guarantee. I mean, you without questions asked. All for $99, people. People, this could be around a few thousands, to be honest with you, right? But you guys get it for $99, right? All you gotta do is just go over here, purchase the course, and you'll get access to it. And if you don't like it, you could just message me and get your money back, people. Look, man, don't be hard-headed, people. Don't be hard-headed. This is the course that you guys need, right? It gives you guys everything. I cover everything. I could promise you, man, you're not gonna get a more in-depth course on how to attract women and keep them more than this. All right. Anyways, people, check it out. 30-day money back guarantee. There is no risk, and you can get the free course. You can get the free trial. The free trial are these videos that you get for free, right? You guys could just sign up. You could watch all of these videos for free, right? And you don't have to pay. All right. Anyways, I'll see you guys inside. I want to see you guys inside because, again, people, you can't lose nothing. There's a 30-day money back